Now, Laura, Parliament prorogued today.
Yeah, say that when you haven't got your teeth in.
Which is the posh word for stopping, because there's going to be a Queen's speech in a couple of weeks when it sort of starts again, when it unprorogues or re-rogues. I don't know what it is.
And They're all rogues anyway.
Yeah. And so there was a bit of a dash to get some legislation through in time. And one of the pieces of legislation was one that's very controversial for all sorts of reasons. And it's the fire safety bill, which was basically the government's attempt to make sure there's never another Grenfell.
That's right.
And where they've ended up with is that if you live in a very tall building, there is a fund that can be spent on removing the cladding from your building so that you're safe. And there's all sorts of other things in there about whether you have to pay for a warden to patrol the corridors at night looking for fires. But some people are very, very angry that they've been left out of this legislation.
That's right. So the fire safety bill was aimed at making homes safer after the awful, awful tragedy in 2017 when more than 70 people lost their lives. But some MPs, few Tory MPs, lots of Labour MPs, and also a very strong feeling in the House of Lords, were trying to extend the financial protection for leaseholders who've basically got stuck in flats that they might not be in the tallest of buildings with the cladding, but since then all sorts of safety concerns and defects have been discovered. And there have been thousands of leaseholders, and we've talked about it on the programme before, haven't we? Thousands of people stuck in flats that there's no way they could sell. They don't feel safe there, and they're being hit with these huge bills to try to make things up, or even, to have wardens walking around at night to wake people if there were fires. But the people who were pushing for that addition to the legislation, to the law that's gone through, they failed. And there's been a lot of real anger and upset from leaseholders, also from politicians who were trying to make these changes. And it's one of these stories, my goodness, it really, really affects many people's daily lives and a lot of disappointment. What the government would say is they're putting 5 billion, I think the figure is, in to try to fix things in the worst situations. And they've also got to think about taxpayers. But there's an awful lot of people, some people would say, a kind of generation of people just trying to get on the housing ladder who've really suffered here.